If you have $1.5 million sitting around and you want a Holy Trinity hypercar, the 918 Spyder is the one to take home. Here's why. Welcome back to Buy or Buy, the channel that breaks down every known problem with used cars so you don't waste your money. Today we're diving straight into a full explainer on a highly specific, multi-million-dollar asset.
Section 1. Who this car is actually for. Look, we are exclusively talking to the serious collector here, someone ready to deploy $1.5 million today, just to get the keys. But buying it? That's the easy part. You've got to budget $5 to $15 grand annually just for routine maintenance, and that's assuming absolutely nothing breaks. More importantly, you absolutely must secure access to a Porsche certified specialist within a reasonable distance of your garage. Because of the lethal high-voltage architecture and totally bespoke engineering, there are literally fewer than 50 of these 918 trained technicians on the entire planet. If you don't live near one, well, factor in a massive enclosed transport bill every time you need an oil change. Now, if you're shopping in this heavily fortified tax bracket, you're probably cross-shopping the McLaren P1, maybe the notoriously analog Porsche Carrera GT if you're a purist, or the Ferrari laferrari. But the 918 buyer is wired a bit differently. They specifically prioritize usable electric range and relentless all-wheel drive grip over a pure internal combustion feel. You aren't just buying a rear-wheel drive noisemaker, you're acquiring a calculated technological statement. It's for the buyer demanding hypercar metrics paired with laboratory-grade engineering precision. Bottom line, don't buy the asset if you can't afford the extreme logistical infrastructure required to keep it alive.
Section 2. Where it shines.
Moving past the prerequisites, let's examine the 3 specific engineering wins that make this car a definitive Holy Trinity member. No vague PR jargon here, just the data. First up, the 4.6-liter M18 V8. This isn't just some part-spin motor. It is a direct descendant of the RS Spyder LMP2 race program. It features incredibly complex dry sump lubrication, generates 608 PS at 8,700 RPM entirely on its own, and screams all the way to an absurd 9,150 RPM redline. It stands as one of the highest revving production engines ever built by anyone, let alone Porsche. Pure thermal efficiency and mechanical tolerance. Second, the lap times. Factory driver Marc Lieb completely obliterated the Nürburgring Nordschleife on September 4, 2013, posting a verified 6:57 lap. That didn't just win bragging rights, it fundamentally shifted the baseline for hypercar performance. It cemented the 918 as the absolute first production car to ever break the 7-minute barrier, publicly humiliating its competitors at the time, and proving that hybrid weight penalties could be entirely negated by superior traction management. And that brings us right to our third win, the hybrid architecture itself. An independent front electric motor creates a through-the-road all-wheel drive system. Because that front motor operates completely independently from the V8 and the PDK gearbox out back, it delivers exactly 12 miles of EPA-rated EV-only range, meaning you can drive completely silently through your neighborhood at low speeds. Neither the LaFerrari nor the McLaren P1 are physically capable of doing that. It's absolute aggression on the track and complete stealth in the city.
Bottom line, objective, motorsport-derived performance dominance.
Section 3. Where it disappoints. We don't do blind praise here, so let's uncover the terrifying financial liabilities hiding beneath that carbon fiber monocoque. Because when a car is this complex, the repair bills look exactly like real estate transactions. First major concern is battery degradation, the ultimate long-term unknown for early hybrid hypercars. The 6.8 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion pack hasn't reached end of life on a statistically meaningful sample size yet, but an out-of-warranty replacement that's currently estimated to run you anywhere from $50,000 to over $100,000 if and when it decides to quit. It makes standard hypercar engine rebuilds look almost reasonably priced.
Next, consider the hybrid system cooling. It utilizes multiple independent circuits just to manage the V8, the high-voltage battery, and the electric motors in harmony. This isn't your standard radiator flush. It requires meticulous, painstaking attention from one of those 50 specialists we talked about. This pushes major scheduled service intervals up to a staggering $15,000 to $30,000 or more every single time. The labor hours required just to access these components are astronomical. Finally, because this car is insanely fast and carrying heavy battery packs, the carbon ceramic braking system works extremely hard to shed that kinetic energy. A complete brake refresh will easily set you back north of 20 grand. And heaven forbid you scrape the bodywork on a track day or pulling out of a steep driveway. A Porsche-authorized carbon fiber reinforced polymer repair is your one and only option. And yeah, it is obscenely expensive. You don't just order a fender, you fund a bespoke composite engineering project. Bottom line, the buy-in is just the down payment on the liabilities of hypercar ownership. Section 4. The numbers that matter. Let's build an objective data profile for the current secondary market so you know exactly what you're paying for. The original base MSRP was $845,000, plus an $84,000 option if you wanted the Weissach package to shed a little weight by stripping out sound deadening and bolting on magnesium wheels. Looking back, that feels like an absolute steal. Current East values aggressively float between $1.5 and $3 million, heavily dependent on paint-to-sample color, mileage, and whether that Weissach option was checked. The market has definitively spoken on its worth as an appreciating asset.
And the performance numbers are still staggering a decade later. Combined system output hits 887 PS, that's 875 horsepower, with a mammoth 944 pound-feet of torque. That powertrain hauls a 1,634 to 1,720 kilogram curb weight chassis to 60 miles per hour in just 2.5 to 2.6 seconds. Top speed, 214 miles per hour with the Weissach package. And remember, this unyielding output is perfectly paired with that 12 miles of EV-only range. It is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde executed in carbon fiber. Crucially, production was capped at exactly 918 units. They were built strictly by Porsche manufacturer, and here's a vital detail for meticulous collectors. Every single one is designated as a 2015 model year, regardless of whether the actual build date fell between 2013 and 2015. It's a specific homologation quirk ensuring the unified registry for every chassis that rolled out of Zuffenhausen to succeed the Carrera GT. Bottom line, the exact figures support the multi-million-dollar ceiling.
Verdict? Buy.
The 918 Spyder is a strictly appreciating halo status investment. It provides the only meaningful EV range in the Holy Trinity, completely outclassing its rivals in urban usability. Plus, its ultra-fast PDK transmission and highly calibrated drive-by-wire electronics make it significantly easier to live with than its notoriously spiky analog predecessor, the Carrera GT. You don't need to be a professional racing driver to park it, and you won't stall a heavy ceramic clutch at a stoplight. It behaves exactly when you need it to. Execute the buy without hesitation if you have the entry capital and that absolutely vital access to a 918-trained Porsche specialist. But if you are an uncompromising purist who demands a pure internal combustion Holy Trinity car with unforgiving rear-wheel drive dynamics, you should seek out a Ferrari laferrari instead. The 918 is for the buyer who prefers their speed delivered with relentless digitized precision. Buy is simply not an option here. There are exactly 918 of these cars in existence, and the vast majority aren't even for sale. You aren't just buying a used car, you're buying into a highly exclusive club of verified automotive history. Passing on a clean, well-documented chassis is a massive financial mistake. With Porsche's all-electric Mission X concept announced as the definitive successor, we leave you with this. Will the market ever see another plug-in hybrid masterpiece that disrupts the hypercar landscape quite like the 918 Spyder did? Think about it, because paradigm-shifting vehicles like this are the exact reason the word halo exists in the automotive dictionary.